All right. What's up, everybody? We are back again on the Zoom. Man, I wonder how much money, we got to look that up in a second, like how much money Zoom is making off of this shit. They went from, they went from me, I didn't even know what they were or who they were, to being ubiquitous with the virus and the pandemic.
Pandemic culture.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you are tuned in to the number one podcast in the world. This is the One Baron podcast. It's obviously still a little different, and I don't even know when we're going to drop in the theme song because
wait, right now.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out. 4 to 5 a.m. takes me to a place where I fit in.
all right.
Love that song.
So yeah, my name is Marco Dupa. With me, as always, the great and powerful Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up, brewskis?
This is episode. I don't even fucking know. I'm still. My brain is still fried from everything, dude.
Trials and
Everything.
tribulations.
This is actually episode 270.
Ooh, yeah.
That's right. So we're still in Zoom, and if you tuned into last week's episode, it was a little change of pace. We did a one reel in, and we talked about the Spike Lee joint, The Five Bloods, Netflix exclusive. If you haven't, please check that video out. I think that we went in and we said some cool shit, and
Always.
also probably insulted Spike Lee and his craft, and yeah, so I think you guys will enjoy that because we are, if nothing else, brutally honest about our opinions on music and movies, entertainment in
really.
general. Yeah. So that was last week. This week we're still doing the Zoom thing because the reason, if you tuned into last week's episode, you will know why that we're doing this, which is that I tested positive for COVID-19.
Boo.
Yeah, everybody hate me. Everybody
It's all your
hate me. That's not COVID.
There it is.
It's not
there
COVID.
It is.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not COVID.
All right.
Because that was almost 3 weeks ago now. And you get it, you do the test, and it takes fucking forever to get the results back.
Yeah.
And so I feel completely fine, and it's been past the time that I should be quarantined.
It's been.
But no drops. Sorry guys, no drops. I mean, I have to do them in post, which I guess I could do. Not on the video though. I'm not good enough.
Ugh.
I'm not good enough. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not good enough.
You never will be with that attitude.
And so yeah, it takes forever to get your results back. So it's past the time that I should have been quarantined. But we're playing it safe because Obi's got people in his life. I've got people in my life that are a little higher risk. There's no reason to play that dangerous game when we can just as easily do this. And also, it gives us video content. So,
Yay.
yeah. Not the way that we wanted to get back on YouTube, but yeah. So, with that being said, let's talk about that mythical beast.
I don't think we can say that.
Yeah, that's probably trademarked.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably, whatever. Do you listen to their podcast, Ear Biscuits?
I do not.
I've never listened to it. I hear it's pretty good, though.
No, we don't talk about other podcasts on the show, Marco.
You're right. I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm gonna bleep that whole thing out.
Thank you.
Just make it static.
Blur it. Yeah. Censored.
Yeah. So, I guess I should start off at the top. Just kind of given the timeline, the COVID timeline.
Yeah.
So almost 3 weeks ago Monday, I came down with what I thought was the flu, and but it was a weird flu, right? It was it was like it felt. First, let me just say, I don't know where I got it. I have some suspicions, but I will say that here's the thing. I've been going to work almost the whole time. And we've been documenting, where our comings and goings on the show, and so I've been out of the house. I've been wearing a mask the whole time, but I've been to the gas station a number of times. I've driven through, I picked up food from fast food restaurants. I've been in my office. There's no telling, what's going on with them or what have you. So I think there's a better chance that it was a little closer to home.
Well, you live with a bunch of people too, so
yeah, I do. And my mom's a medical professional, so it could have come from there. Could have come from, Nalati.
Former friend of the show.
Yeah, former. But who knows? The only thing that I know is Monday I felt like it like I said, it felt like the flu, but like a flu I'd never had before. Like body aches, a fever. I keep likening it to that scene in Ray when he's like trying to kick the heroin, and he's in the he's at the rehab place, and hold on, let me adjust this shit. He's at the rehab place, and he's like, he keeps jumping out of bed and kicking the blankets off of him, and even in Dewey Cox, where he's like, we need more blankets. Sir, we've given them all the blankets that we have. We need more. That's what it felt like. It felt like I couldn't regulate my body temperature, and I was just in bed, just shivering, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm not that cold. It's not that cold, or am I that cold? It was like
Is it nippy out here?
It was a very weird out of body experience the first day.
Yeah, and
that's a cute little teaser for you guys. We'll continue right after we introduce the beers.
Thank you. I'm so thirsty.
I know, me too, dude. I'm in this fucking garage. I'm going to lose at least 20 pounds before this episode's over.
You won't have to pee, though. That's great.
I'm going to pee in the garage.
Okay.
So,
just for fun.
Yeah. I'm going to mark my territory. All my stuff is right off camera. And it looks as sad as you imagine.
A life accumulated in a garage.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that you can just kind of take an entire life and just shove it against the wall. And that's it. Now I'm just
You can take your life and shove it against the wall.
Yeah, I did. I have. And yeah.
That was supposed to be hurtful, but...
No, it was. It was.
Oh,
Believe me,
okay.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
So this is what we did for this week. Instead of... I thought about us both getting the same beer and just experiencing it, from opposite ends of the globe.
Yeah.
But then you had the idea of you get one, I get one. We luckily both bought from a variety pack, right? So what we're going to do is just kind of review all of them and kind of give you guys the best of the bunch of each variety pack. So you can kind of get a varied opinion over the course of 6 different beers.
Yeah.
So do you want to intro yours first?
Sure. Well, I have mostly beers that we've had before. This is a variety pack from Terrapin. I got it from Publix. We'll start with the lowest ABV. It's the Recreation Ale. If you're watching on video, I'm shoving it 3D style in your face. Then we got the Terrapin Luau, which another one we've had before. I'm not sure on the show or not, but definitely tasted before. Then, of course, a fan favorite, the Hopsecutioner.
One of the highest scoring beers in the history of the show.
Yes, very solid IPA. And then finally, the one that I'm not familiar with, I don't know if you are, but the Cryosphere, which is a IPA as well.
All right. I'm actually not familiar with the Cryosphere, so
Yeah, it's the first time I saw it.
So what I have, I bought a variety pack from Elysian, and I don't have it on me because we've already done it on the show. But it came with the contact haze. We only did that a couple of episodes ago, so I didn't, just go back and listen to that. And also the Elysian Space Dust, another show favorite.
Yep.
And then we have the Super Fuzz Blood Orange Pale. This one we actually haven't had on the show yet. And for a special delight, they actually say what you should do is take these two, the Super Fuzz and the Space Dust, mix them together Steve Austin style, and you get the Fuzz Duster.
Nice.
So that's what I'm going to do.
It's my favorite finishing move.
The Fuzz Duster?
Yeah.
So what I'll do first is, I'll drink this by itself, kind of give it a good tasty taste, remember my score, and then I'm going to mix them. Yep. All right?
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
I will have the Cryosphere first, just because I want to give that its own unique review, and then I'll tell you which is the best of the pack.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yeah.
Bottoms up.
Ooh.
That's really good.
That's nice.
Yeah. All right.
Same here, bud.
For a second.
Anywho, so
yeah,
you were saying about your COVID adventure, you're having the shakes and the sweats.
Here's the thing. I want to get this out of the way first and foremost.
Okay.
For the people who, if you're not, there's a different conversation to be had with people who are not as concerned as other people are about the virus. There are people who say that considering the low death rate and the high amount of cases, just kind of showing you that it's not as bad as what was originally thought. And people who say like the models are off and we're doing way better and yada yada yada. That's a conversation for another day. We can actually have that conversation. So we can have that conversation. But the thing that I want to get across to people is this. Anybody who thinks it's not real is a moron. And I'm not pulling any punches with that one.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have a differing opinion on the severity of it and how it's affecting society, that's a completely different conversation that needs to be had for sure.
Sure.
If you think that it's a hoax or a myth, that it doesn't exist, that it's created by the Democrats so that the economy tanks to the point that, we blame Donald Trump for everything and then we vote him out because of the virus.
Right.
You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're a moron. And I can tell you this because, it felt like I'm not going to say I've never felt this sick because I've been sicker. You know what I'm saying? Like I've felt worse. But it was a unique feeling that I know is different than anything that I've felt before. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's what makes it so scary, too, is because we don't know how it will affect anybody. Because it seems almost like a crapshoot. Because, you see things about...
By the way, I'm mixing them now.
Okay, do it. You see things about relatively healthy, younger people getting hospitalized, and... completely unhealthy heathens like you just kind of you're good after a week. So
the people who are still in the hospital 3-4 weeks later, 2 months later, Oh,
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the torture
Hmm.
of still feeling like I was feeling Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. If you're
Yep.
still in the hospital feeling like that, Lord help you.
Yeah. But yeah, I
It
mean
was miserable.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it seems like you dealt with it reasonably well. You felt sick, obviously, but there are people who get sick and have to go to the hospital, or are sick for a month, or die from it.
Yeah.
So, that
And,
that's the thing that I think is most frightening about it, is just that random nature of it. You don't know how it's going to affect you.
right. And so for me, before I get back to myself, it's just you have to stop. You have to stop saying that it doesn't exist, because now my mom has it,
Hmm.
and she's not doing as well as I did with it, right?
Right.
And so it's insulting
Hmm.
and it's infuriating to
Yeah.
hear people dismiss how we're feeling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not my fucking emotions, but like my physiological being. It's like, it's insulting for you to be like, what do you think I'm doing? You think I'm faking it? You think I want to be like trapped in the house? Do you think I want,
Yeah.
like, the Zoom is cool, but like, I don't want to
Mhm.
do this. I want to be at the
Right.
house. I want to be at your apartment. I want to be shooting the shit. I
Yeah.
want to be able to just leave the fucking house and go do whatever I want to do. And that has nothing to do with like places being locked down or whatever. But like, I've been treating it as responsibly as I can. I've been fucking in a space upstairs. I've gone to the bathroom and back again. I've
Right.
tried to stay away from everybody. I've tried to just literally self-isolation.
Hmm.
It fucking sucks. And I'm saying this as a guy who, it's only been a couple of weeks. Like I said, I can't imagine the people who are in a fucking hospital bed with tubes all in them, not
Hmm.
knowing if tomorrow it's going to get worse or better.
Yeah.
It's insane for you to dismiss those people.
Well, and then imagine all that and not being able to even see your family, being
Yeah.
completely isolated and feeling that sick and wondering if you're gonna make it out of this thing.
Tortured by this thing, and
People
then
dismiss it.
couple that with you being alone, and then couple that with someone telling you, you're full of shit.
Well, and then even if somebody's not saying that it's a complete hoax, them downplaying it like your life is any less important or significant.
Right. This idea that, like, yeah, I mean, people are gonna die, but people die all the time. It's like, but they don't have to.
Right.
People are gonna die. That's just what happens. I get that. But the callous nature in which some of these people are talking about it, as if it is a byproduct of, it just is what it is.
Right.
That's
Just the air now, I guess.
exactly. I mean, droplets are gonna kill you. What are you gonna do?
Gotta breathe. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Sorry, there's acid rain.
That's the thing that is killing people. It's like, dude, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be so goddamn cavalier about this. And it seems like it only rings true for people when it happens to them, when they're going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to do my best even before all of this, and now, dude, it's DEFCON 5 now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, put a hat on.
Uh-oh.
Thought I heard something. It's really weird.
I love this movie.
I don't have a lot behind me that's gonna, like, you've got a backdrop that is creepier than mine.
Do I?
Yeah, I think so. Because you wouldn't know until it was too late that somebody came through that door. That's a garage door, dude. You know how long it's gonna take for that door to come up before that guy fucking comes rolling in? I'll fucking stomp his ass out before he gets to me.
So. Yeah, but my door has a little chain on it.
True.
Yeah.
And by the time he kicks that thing in and gets to you, fucking coming around the bed with a sickle.
That's what the serial killers use nowadays. Yeah.
Jump
right out this window
out of the
I'm
way.
looking at. Yeah.
Dude, it's kind of weird.
Someone tapping at it.
Just this is kind of weird. Okay.
Yeah. For people who can't see it right now, Marco's in his garage, and his garage door is behind him.
I'm melting in here, just melting. Like,
It's
anyway,
good for you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And as soon as we're done with this, I'm just gonna just jump straight into the shower, just
Perfect.
wash this all away. But so yeah, to get back to how it affected me personally. Day 1, 2, and 3 were pretty similar. The feeling of like, I mean, my back just. I was thinking about you a lot. I was like, man, this has to be somewhat in the neighborhood of how he feels when like days are really bad, and you're just like, I can't move today. Today I'm just gonna be in the bed or on the couch. Today.
Oh, I'm just gonna be uncomfortable all day. I guess that's just how it's gonna be.
Right.
Fine.
Yeah, I was taking as many painkillers as I can. I can't even keep up with all of the, don't take this, take that. So I was taking
everything.
Yeah. And just to sleep because I'm so uncomfortable. What's up? Dude. Yeah, can you bring me a fan? I think there's a fan like right there.
Marco asking for the assist.
Lottie just poked her head in. She's like, it's hot. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, back pain, crazy. Fever dipping in and out. At the fever went away. Is there a place to? That's plugged into something? Oh, this is where he had his yeah. That's right there. Okay. Thank you.
So happy for you.
Fucking game changer right here, buddy.
It's all about comfort.
Sorry, I know this is A+ content.
Whatever you need, bud. Maybe you try to aim it at like your chest, so it doesn't hit the mic.
Yeah. You hear it?
No, I can't. But I'm just picturing somebody in their car listening to this silence as you're trying to shift around and get your fan situated because you're in the garage.
I can't tell you how much. Like I can do this for 3 hours now. It's just, I mean, it's night and day. It's night and day.
I can hear it now.
You can hear it?
It sounds like you're on a windy plane.
What about now?
I think you're good.
So aches and pains, day 1, 2, and 3. Then, after like the first 4 days, that's when I lost my sense of taste. And I was like, is it just, so here's the thing, me and my mom were talking about this, because is it the placebo effect in reverse? Is it you're hearing about symptoms and you're hearing about what people are going through and you're projecting
like manifesting them?
Right. Or are you really feeling those things? Because it's hard to tell. Because when you're congested, for instance, you don't fully lose your sense of taste, but you definitely lose it a little bit just because of your sense of smell affects your sense of taste.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it's happened to me just with bad allergies before.
Right. And so it's like, all right, is it because of that or is it because of this thing? Mm-hmm. The reason I know it's because of COVID is because I wasn't congested anymore. I was congested for the first day, then that went away. Then
irony.
Yeah, I know, right? And I could breathe deeply and the sense of taste was still gone. And dude, that is the strangest sensation to not be able to taste something where you're like, because then, around day 5, day 6, I started to feel better. It was really just, it felt like it's like a common cold at that point. I had a headache and the aches and pains were starting to go away. So to feel like you're coming out of it, but that sensation of not being able to taste shit,
Mm.
and like for a second, I was like, what if it never comes back? Like, we
What
can't.
if this is forever?
We have to change the show. I can't.
Right.
It can't be a taste testing show.
Oh, this one tastes like water too. Weird.
Oh, the texture of this beer.
The mouth feel.
That's a good mouth feel.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I almost cut you from the show.
Yeah, who would you replace me with?
Fozzie Bear.
That's good. I'm basically.
I think he'd bring some good energy. Yeah.
So, after about a week and a half, I started to feel pretty much fine. The sense of taste started to come back, and then it was just a waiting game. Then it's just like you just start counting your days like you're in lockup.
Yeah.
And I got pretty lucky, I think.
Yeah, it seems that way. I mean, like through it all, I was surprised how like okay you were.
Yeah.
I was expecting the worst, obviously, because that's how my brain works. But, just the fact that you were still like in communication, still like online and responding and like with it still, and not completely like devastated. I was like, oh, that seems like a good sign.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried that would eventually just be like, oh, today's the day that I feel awful.
Yeah.
Or like breathing's hard. That was my biggest concern for you, was that you wouldn't be able to breathe well because you're already congested all the time. So
yeah,
I figured
yeah,
that might be an issue. But yeah, no, I mean, it seems like for all intents and purposes, you got it pretty light.
Yeah, and I'm thankful, because it really was at its worst. Everybody says, I was reading online, it was like, hey man, day 9, day 10, that's when it really ramps up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on day 11 reading those things like, oh god, it's right around the corner.
Yeah,
and it just never happened. So I'm really I'm not so blessed, but I'm fucking lucky. So
yeah. Oh, good. Yeah.
So
glad you've made a recovery. Yeah, I as soon as you told me, I made plans to get tested myself, because obviously I immediately assume I have it, because the amount of time that we spend together making out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you should be concerned, or you should have been concerned.
Yeah, I was. But it's funny you say that about the symptoms, because throughout the entire time period from when I got tested to, I guess, the zone of when I would start feeling sick, I was like, oh, my throat's itchy.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a headache. Oh, I feel kind of stuffy. Oh, I'm feeling kind of woozy right now. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally just my anxiety and allergies teaming up to fuck with me.
Mm.
So yeah, that was not fun for a while. But yeah, I mean, I should say my results haven't come back yet, but it's been over. It's been, thank you. Over 2 weeks. It's been like 2.5 weeks since I saw you last.
Yeah.
And it's been a week and a half since my test. So I haven't gotten sick unless I'm asymptomatic. I think I'm pretty much clear by now. So
yeah. Kind of insane that it's taken this long to get those results back. It took me. Go ahead.
I called up the health department, which is apparently the only place you can get any answers from. So I called them, and they basically said, "Oh, it's been that long. You're probably fine."
Ridiculous.
I think my headphones died.
Oh.
Can you still hear me okay?
I can still. I actually can hear you better.
Okay. Well, we'll have to deal. But yeah, so I one sec. Sorry. I ended up calling the health department, and they basically told me if it's been that long, that means that the chances of you being positive are basically null and void. Like, you don't have it because we're prioritizing the people who tested positive to get back to them first. So
if you are positive, do you get to call them back and just be like, so what now? Are you going to give me money or something?
Yeah, I mean, I have been isolating, so everything should be fine. But at the same time, if I am positive for any reason, I could have been out on the town having a good time and spreading it to everybody. So that's why I think the chances of that are super, super slim.
Yeah. But that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And yeah, I mean, if that's how they're prioritizing things, then yeah, you probably got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
So
one sec. You know what? I think I can charge my headphones as I'm using them. So I'm going to go grab my charger.
Go ahead and do it. Do it to it, sir. At least when we walk away now, people can actually see us walking away. And so it doesn't just go silent. And then when we're vamping, you can actually see us vamping whenever we take bathroom breaks. It's funny when you have a food and beverage show. You don't think about the consequences of those food and beverages. You know? All right, we're coming. We're plugging in. Boom. Back on. He's getting cords out of the way.
All right.
And he's plugged back in.
Hello.
Now. All right.
Can you hear me?
I can. Good to go. This is my Tuesday.
One sec. Hold on.
Got it.
Hello?
Yep.
This sucks. When I have it charging, it has this like feedback and I can't hear you.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep.
I mean, you could just do it without it. It sounded fine.
Yeah, I guess so, but I can barely hear you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But you can barely hear me now.
That's true. But hopefully they can hear me better. So, okay. I don't know. Let's try to roll it with this. Just say it from your chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, Jim. Sorry, guys. Episode 270 is just going to be the trial and error episode.
We're new at this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought my headphones were charging all day, but apparently my PlayStation wasn't giving them any juice.
Ugh. That sucks.
Yeah.
Also, you're fired. You're fired. Now go back into your room. Go back into your room.
Don't invoke that, man.
Where were we? COVID.
Yeah, I was just saying my test is taking forever to come back, but I'm assuming that I'm good, but I'm still waiting for the results. I'm still trying to get them to give me a definitive because, like you were saying, we both have people in our lives that are, in danger of this thing more than the average Joe. So I'm trying to be as safe as possible, trying to make sure I get all my testing done, and getting my results back.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I'll let y'all know when I know.
Yeah.
But it's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's been just this crazy. I mean, the place that I went to, they were doing walk-in testing, and when I went to get the first test, not this most recent test to see if I'm negative. I mean, it was there was a line out of the door, which obviously you're not going to have people lined up in the hospital or in urgent care.
Yeah.
So we were all lined up out the door, and they were like, "Okay, fill out this paperwork. Go over there, go away, fill out this paperwork, come back, give us the paperwork, and then we'll call you. So you can go, just don't go too far, because we're literally going to call you." and let you know when you can come in. 2 hours.
Oh God.
2 hours. I sat in my car, I listened to music, podcasts. I kind of drove around for a little bit. I walked around for a little bit, obviously staying, as far as humanly possible away from other humans. And it sucked because that was day 1 or day 2 it was day 1 because as soon as I felt bad, my mom was like, "You should just go get tested."
you should probably go.
So day 1, I feel miserable. Awful. I'm reclined in my car and I'm like tossing and turning in my car. It sucked. So it sucked, but like there's so many people who had it so much worse that I hate even complaining about it. It obviously was an inconvenience to my life and to the people in my life. Dude, my niece and my younger cousin, you would think that they were in fucking Alcatraz the way that they were acting. Because once I came home and we found out that I had it, they were like, "Okay, well, you guys need to quarantine also, just to make sure."
Yeah.
And so they quarantined, and they were fucking miserable.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys stay in the house all the time. And now because you're forced to, and I feel the same way. I'm like, now that I'm forced to stay in the house, it's like, no. I stay in the house because I want to.
I think that's symbolic of all of America currently.
Right. But it really is. You tell people that they have to stay in the house, and they're like, "Fuck you." But most of us are choosing to stay in the house anyway. But
yeah, I wonder what would happen if they called masks like freedom shrouds or something.
Right.
I think it has a lot to do with marketing. The reason why these wackos just don't want to wear a mask because they think it infringes on their freedoms.
I'm glad you brought up the masks because here in Florida, they're doing here in Central Florida anyway, they're doing a mandate where everyone has to wear a mask, right? Right now, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah, if you're not like working out outside.
Yeah. So why do these videos keep popping up of people in stores not wearing them? And I'm not saying I know why those people are doing it. They're assholes. I get that. Yeah. What I'm mad about, and I hate to be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy. What I'm mad about is the stores not enforcing it. And I'm not saying that the guy who works at McDonald's who makes $8.50 an hour is supposed to tackle the dude who's not wearing a mask. I'm not saying that.
Right.
What I'm saying is a place like Publix or pick a grocery store, Kroger's or wherever the fuck. You should if Walmart can have a fucking greeter, you can have somebody at the front who's saying you can't come in unless you have a mask on.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that.
It's funny because the Walmart around where I live has somebody there. They have two people. There's one person sitting outside, I think, to also manage like crowd control, just in case there's too many people at the same time. And they also, I would assume, are checking for masks. There was a guy, I think it was about a month ago, and there was a woman behind me in a self-checkout line, and like she got close. She got too close.
You're too close, man.
She got too close, man. And I didn't even have to say anything. I didn't even notice her there at the time, but I like felt her presence and started to turn around to give her the stink eye, because that's all you have when you're wearing a mask. But one of the people
show her your teeth like a dog, like.
No, but one of the Walmart workers was at the end of the lines, I guess, to scan people if they're buying alcohol, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But she noticed that and was like, "Hey, ma'am, take a few steps back." And I was like, "Oh, wow, thank you, that's great." And I also remember a video that went viral of this younger Hispanic guy who was trying to block an old white man from walking into Walmart.
Yeah.
So, it's happening, but I think that's kind of the case where it's like, these guys don't make enough money to be dealing with like bouncer work essentially.
Yeah, and the video of the guy who was putting his body in front of this old white dude. It's like, look, man, that's entertaining and all, but don't do that.
No
one's asking you to do that. Fuck.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't have to.
No,
you shouldn't have to.
Exactly. I mean, and it's. I just wish, because everything that's going on with like the police, it's like, now we're gonna call them to enforce this mask mandate. It's just like, I saw this post, and it was like a picture of a mask. It was a drawing of a mask, and somebody was like, it was like your view was looking at the mask, and in it, it said, "I don't know how to convince you to care about other people."
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all it is. It's like, I don't know what to say that would get through to you. Or it's like, I don't know why do this for other human beings isn't enough for a lot of people.
Well, and again, I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before, but I feel like the issue is something that really is usually celebrated as Americans, is this feeling of independence. You're not going to tell me what to do. You don't have the right. I can do whatever I want to do. Yeah. And like that includes the right to be an idiot and to be selfish. And unfortunately, right now that includes the right to potentially put somebody under the ground by being careless. So,
yeah, I mean,
it's like that was one of the things that I remember DeSantis saying as far as why he's not mandating it statewide is because he was saying there's really no way for us to enforce it with the sheriff's office because they're saying they're not going to enforce it.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, cool. Like, thanks. But, I mean, even having the stance of our entire state needs to wear masks is enough to convince some people, even begrudgingly, to go, fine, I'll wear the mask when I go out to Walmart,
yeah.
And that, that could potentially save lives. And if it could potentially save lives, and it's something as simple as wearing a mask, I don't understand where this I'm going to do my own thing kind of belief comes from.
Yeah.
Like it's infringing on your civil liberties or something. Like I don't understand the big issue.
Yeah.
Like, would you do it if we told you didn't have to? Is that what is it like, are you a child? Are you not eating the broccoli because we're saying you have to eat the broccoli?
Right.
I don't understand the psychology here.
Yeah.
People are acting like children.
Yeah. It's because the whole thing has become so politicized that it's now a political stance to not wear a mask.
Yeah.
You saw that video of all of those people at that town hall meeting and the one girl talking about, we're going to perform citizens' arrests. We're citizens. And you're just like,
stop it.
What is happening in the world?
Stop.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say because again, it's still so hard to keep up with. And we're basically the epicenter now.
Yeah, essentially.
We've had the highest number of reported cases.
Huge.
And yet where DeSantis is like, look, man, we got to open these schools back up. I don't know.
We're doing great.
We're doing everything that we're supposed to be doing, and now we got to get back in those schools. We just have to.
Yep. And they're threatening with withdrawing funding for the online classes.
He can't do that, but he can say it, and that's what a lot of people are just like. They just let him just say shit.
Well, and his point, at least of today, was that if you can go to Home Depot, you can certainly go to school.
What does that even mean?
That's not the same thing.
It's the dumbest fucking thing. I just wish the reporters who were there would just go, excuse me, Governor, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Do you mind elaborating on that? Because right now it sounds like you don't need to be governor. You need to be in a hospital somewhere getting your brain checked, because that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You can dip in and out of Home Depot, so that means you can spend half your day around other disgusting little disease-ridden bags of flesh. What are you talking about?
The argument is, oh, well, kids aren't really at high risk. You know who is? Teachers, faculty, custodians.
Literally everyone else.
Every other adult that's in that building, who will then take it home.
Around there, probably even at more risk relative.
Right. Yep.
And that's the thing. It's like it all goes back to, it's just not about you protecting yourself. It's about you protecting other people. And it's glaringly obvious that most of you don't give a shit about other people. And this, more than anything else, this pandemic has opened the window to how much Americans don't care about each other at all.
Yeah.
And it's like the saddest thing, other than obviously all the people dying. It's the saddest.
Almost as sad.
It is honestly, to me, the saddest thing that I've really had to reckon with the pandemic, is that we just don't care about anyone else but ourselves. And
this little comic kind of struck me early on in this pandemic, actually, that it was just a still from Watchmen, and it said, "We just proved that Ozymandias's plan wouldn't have worked. Like, even in a global crisis, we decide our individualism is more important.
Yeah.
We're not going to band together. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to separate. We're going to isolate, and we're going to claim that this is infringing on our freedoms and it's against our code. So we're just going to ignore science. That's what we're going to do."
Yeah. No, dude, when they're saying, like, we can't let the CDC dictate how we're going to handle this thing, it's like, what are we going to let dictate it? You're Donald
Trump. He knows more about viruses than anybody.
It makes me think about a friend of mine who doesn't believe that this is going on, and it's like, you know, I ask her, if you don't believe the scientists, you don't believe the CDC, you don't believe the World Health Organization, you don't believe who do you believe? What do you believe in? You can't just say I don't believe in anything, and it's like, okay, so then why do you believe it's not real? You decided to believe something.
Yeah.
And what brought you to that conclusion? I don't know, dude. I don't know. But I don't want it to be a full-on bummer fest. That's not...
Well, too late, okay? We're here already.
No. There's so much more that we can talk about. So many more entertaining things that are going on right now. Kanye West is running for president. Shit.
No,
that's not good.
Damn it.
Fuck. Well, I guess we have to talk about that, don't we?
All right.
I don't think he's actually running.
I don't have enough beer for this, first of all.
You want to get more?
No, I have 4 cans in front of me.
I was about to say, I thought you had like... Yeah,
I'm on can number 2 for those who are counting.
I just redid the mix.
Nice.
So.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good.
Nice.
But it is also one of those things, like, you know, whenever they tell you to mix beers, you're just like, these 2 beers have to have a really, really strong taste for it to come through. Like when they mix like a ginger beer with something else, I can rock with that. Cause like ginger beers, dude, I mean, they're like, they're basically ginger ales.
Well, yeah.
Like a little hint of alcohol in them. But
I don't think most ginger beer has alcohol in it.
No, I know. I'm saying, I know. What I'm saying is, when you take 2 IPAs
Mhm.
And then they're just this one's a orange pale, blood orange pale ale.
Mhm.
This is
But they're not like diametrically opposed.
exactly.
It's not like you have a stout and an IPA.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're gonna kind of rock with each other pretty easily.
Right. There you go.
And I mean, they have to be drastically different, I think, to really kind of stand out. Because right now, it's like it tastes good, but it's not like you couldn't. I don't think a person could blind taste that. Blind taste test that.
Yeah.
So anyway, our dear Kanye West.
Yeah.
In 2015, I think, at the VMAs, he said that he was going to run in 2020. Kanye 2020. And then after that, it just kind of dissipated because it was stupid. We all knew it was stupid.
Yeah.
And you know
what happened?
We had this rambling speech at the VMAs where he made some good points, and then some. You're like, what's he saying? I think that's the thing about Kanye right now is you have to listen to 3 hours of him talking, and you get like 1 or 2 nuggets where you're like, oh, that was a good point.
Mhm.
But most of it is just like
Rambling idiocy.
Yeah. And so just out of nowhere, like a week ago, less than a week ago, he's just like, we've got to fulfill God's promise. I don't know. Pull up the tweet. I'll pull up the tweet. Because he hasn't really tweeted. Well, he has tweeted.
Yes, he has.
Deleted.
And then just spam tweeted his children.
His children, as if people were just going to be like, oh, look over there. Look over there. It's my kids.
They're cute. Am I right?
They're fucking cute. Tell me they're not cute. So everybody's all happy because he was finally like, I can't really rock with Trump no more. When I caught wind. Okay, so he announces his presidency. Then he kind of goes radio silent. Then he pops up in this Forbes interview where he's kind of giving them. He kind of gives them the. I mean, he gives them a rundown pretty much. Kind of takes them on a tour of like a tour through his mind. So the original tweet is, I must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I am running for President of the United States. American flag emoji, 2020 vision, hashtag. Yeah.
Okay.
And that has, at this point, at the time of this recording, 1.2 million likes, 531,000 retweets. That is a pretty high number for a tweet.
Temporarily got the support of Elon Musk.
Temporarily. That's my full support.
But then suddenly
things kind of start to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
Once this Forbes interview comes out. Because here's the thing. And I've said this before on the podcast, and I've said it before in conversation. Kanye West doing all these political things has not bothered me. What has bothered me is his reluctance to ever say what platform he's running on or what he believes, what he supports. So when it came to this Donald Trump thing, my initial reaction wasn't, fuck Kanye. My initial reaction was, okay, why? What about him at this point in your life are you inspired by? What about his platform? What has he run on? What has he accomplished? What has he done to make you believe in him, coming from where you come from? Because there are people who voted for Donald Trump, who believe in Donald Trump, and a lot of that stems from how they were raised, where they came from, what they believe in, right? That's where it starts. Yeah. That's where your support for most political figures start. Your place in society. If you're the elite, if you're the haves, if you're the have-nots, so on and so forth, right? So my thinking was always, what about this man inspires you so much that you are willing to burn the bridge of a vast majority of your black audience so to show your support for this person. It's a huge
Right.
risk to take. Why is it worth it? And he never has an answer.
No.
Now, you can cite the his energy and
Dragon energy.
all that bullshit. And once he said at one point, when Donald Trump won, that's when I realized that I could win. And it's like, dude, that's not. I don't know if that means what you think it means.
That means any idiot could do this job.
Right. So that's always been my beef with Kanye West. Is not. I mean, now it's evolved because he keeps saying things that have really shown me. I don't want to.
You can just decide to not be a slave, Marco. It's a conscious choice.
Oh, man. Yeah. So now he's running, or he says he's running, and we have this Forbes interview where we finally get a piece of his platform. And you know what?
Give
Not
it
a
to
good
him.
platform.
No.
Not a good platform.
It's a bad platform.
Yeah.
It's a shoddy platform.
It's a shoddy platform. It's not going to hold up in court.
No.
Say that.
No.
I mean, unless you are a pro-life Republican who believes that vaccines are, quote, the mark of the beast, and you want to.
They're implanting you with chips.
Dude, if you're one of these, we need to get God back in the schools, and the reason that society is the way that is because we don't celebrate Christmas anymore. And if you're one of those people, you probably would vote for Kanye West.
Yeah.
But if you're a sane person, and that's the thing about his fans, his music fans, who are coming, like, because there's obviously the Republicans who are using Kanye West to say, hey, look, we got one of the black ones, and he's an entertainer. And
Right.
not only is he an entertainer, he's a rapper.
Wow.
So if you're one of those, it's obviously like, look what we got. But if you're a fan of his because of like the music that he used to make and the stances that he used to take, I didn't mean to rhyme there, but I did.
Can't help it.
Because I'm also a rapper.
What?
It blows my mind that you can still be like, yeah, he's the guy. He's the god. He's the god.
I think I think I understand where a lot of these guys are coming from, supporting Kanye in a political way, because you have to understand a lot of what went into Donald Trump winning was this sense of trolling.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to see it in this next election, where people are just going to write him in regardless, because Kanye apparently didn't put any paperwork in for this.
Yeah, not yet.
There are
aware
rumors.
of that, though.
Okay.
So I was surprised that he was aware of that.
Yeah. There are rumors that he's going through like a psychotic episode right now. That people are saying like he's in like a manic phase.
I don't like to even delve into that because
it's unfair too, because we don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that's and the other thing is, I'm not letting you off the hook just because you're mentally ill.
No,
you know what I'm saying, like that.
No, because he's been on the record saying he doesn't need treatment,
right?
But also admitted he's bipolar. So it's like, okay, we can accept those things, but if you're also not going to get help when you act out and when you're going through an episode, we can't just sit idly by and act like this is sane behavior too.
Yeah, but I don't want people. I don't like when people chalk it up to that and are just like,
he doesn't know better.
Yeah, and it's like, nah, he knows better, dude. He's not. He's this kind of stuff. Like he's not. Don't let that be the thing where you're like, I'm not gonna stop supporting him because he's sick and he needs us. He's not. He doesn't know what he's saying. Don't give him that much credit. He knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
Don't give
And
his mental illness that much credit. He knows
Right.
everything. He knows what he's doing.
Right. And even if he doesn't, he has people around him that are supposed to help him.
Right.
They're supposed to be in his corner. They're supposed to be there to tell him, hey, we think you're going through something right now. Maybe let's go to the doctors. Maybe let's see where you're at, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, like you said, it's unfair to even allude to that without knowing what's actually going on.
Yeah.
So we won't do that. But that's been another headline I've seen of like people close to Kanye say yada yada yada.
Yeah. Well, they only say that so that we can keep the faith that one day, someday soon, he's going to come back around and be our liberal superhero that we always want to be.
Right.
That's the only reason that people do that. That's it. They want to hold on to the faith. Even these people who are like, yo, I mean, he kind of makes a good point. I mean, Donald Trump does have dragon energy. Even those people, in the back of their minds, they're like, I really kind of hope he turns it around.
I hope this is a phase. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like the main point I was trying to make was that I think a lot of people voted for Trump because of literally just the troll potential of having a president who talks about grabbing people by the pussy, talks about, you know, it basically has no class and is this brash, gross orange man, aligns to a lot of things that hurt the feelings of a lot of people, which is the point of any troll, is to just hurt people's feelings and to try to get people angry. And that's what Donald Trump does. So I feel like a lot of it was like, you know, the people that would otherwise have voted for Harambe. They're voting for Trump because of the lulz, you know, like they're doing it just for a joke. And they love to see liberals and really anyone crying about it after it happens. So I feel like we're going to get a lot of that. If they're not voting for Trump, they're going to vote for Kanye. They're going to write him in anyway because of the troll potential. Yeah. And I think that's a not insignificant swath of people who are going to do that.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a major group, but I think it is a group nonetheless that could, you know, not necessarily turn the tides on anything, but will be a factor when it comes to November.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't think it's going to be as many people as people are afraid it's going to be.
I've been hurt before, Marco.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I still can't wrap my head around why anybody would leave their house, go to a voting place, wait in line at their voting place, just to write in Harambe. I'll still never, I mean, I don't want to give them any credit, but I do have to kind of applaud you got a bed for that. Like, why would I just wouldn't waste the time, dude. Like, if I had a mail-in ballot or something.
Right,
It doesn't take that much effort, whatever.
Sure.
I mean, you, got up, put some clothes on. Like, you made it a day.
Waited in line.
To be a dickhead. You made it a day. So, but, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. The jury's still out. I mean, by the time that we're done recording this, he might have filled out all the necessary paperwork for the states that he can still run under the birthday party, because when he wins, it's everybody's birthday.
Everybody's birthday, yeah.
It's so cringe, dude. It's
got my vote.
I thought you were clever. What happened to thinking about this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway. So, I don't know. The jury's still out, obviously. I mean, a lot of people think that it's just an album rollout thing because his new album is coming out soon, God's Country. It's another gospel album.
Yeah.
And people think that it's just another thing to drive eyes and ears towards him because, I mean, he's basically made a track record of grabbing headlines and then releasing an album shortly afterward. And this would fall in line. This would be on brand for Kanye to do something like this, grab a bunch of headlines, do a interview with one publication, kind of a tell-all kind of thing. mean, he's done it almost every time. The last, I think the album before last, he had that. No, it was the last. I don't remember. It was either the last time or the album before last. But he had that 2-hour interview with Charlemagne. Before that, he did a long-ass interview with Zayn. So he does it. But I think before that, he had an interview with MTV. Like, he does this every time. He does something crazy, grabs a bunch of headlines, does an interview, puts album out.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of falling in line, and people are already at the point where we're like, we know the game, dude. We know the strat. We see the chess pieces that you're moving, and honestly, dog, they're not chess pieces anymore. They're checker pieces. They're red and they're black, and they're simple moves.
They're Cheerios. They're Cheerios on the table. They're just skirting around,
and you're eating half the board. We know. We already get it. All right, dude.
Not even the Cheerios. He's chewing on the cardboard. Yeah.
So I would be majorly surprised if he actually went through with this all the way. And so I don't think it's gonna happen. And then he's gonna put out a gospel album, and we need to really talk about the Forbes interview. We need to backtrack and talk about that because
I don't know much about it, so you can tell me about it.
I read it because I've been trying to, I don't we have our feelings, and we have the way that we feel society should be run, and how people should just have their freedoms, right? We have our way of viewing the world, and I've been trying to watch certain things and view certain things from the other side, just to kind of understand, because it kind of goes back to a realization that I had a little while ago, which was that,
you're in an echo chamber.
Yeah, and that right-wing people and Republicans, they view the world the way that they view the world because that's how they think that the world should be. Like I for so long looked at it like, you guys, they're I don't want to say evil, but they're looking at it like, why are you trying to take a woman's choice from her? Like, what do you gain from being pro-life, even in the face of rape and molestation? Like, what do you gain from that? How is society bettered by feeling that way? And I've always looked at it like, fuck you guys.
Right.
And I've been trying to view life and society through the eyes of somebody who looks at something like that, not from an evil perspective per se, but like, this is the way that things should be because it's the right thing. You see what I'm saying?
Like ethics.
Yeah. And so, I read it not just because of my fandom that has turned into, I don't even know what to call it at this point.
Disdain.
Yeah. I don't know.
Disappointment.
Disappointment's a better word, because I'm not angry. I'm just
disappointed.
I'm disappointed.
I'm not angry.
Kanye.
I'm disappointed. Yeah. that sounds about right. Yeah.
And so I read it just so that the simple fact of like, I honestly wanted to know, what he was running on. And I've always been interested. I've always been interested as to what he's actually running on. And to find out that he's pro-life, anti-vax. He said he would have run as a Republican if not for Trump already being a Republican, which is so fucking stupid. It's just like, what are you talking about? It's like, do you understand how the political systems work? Like, I would have done it, but he's already there. Yeah, dummy. He's been there. He's been the president. Why even bring that up? Unless you were going to challenge him. And if you're going to challenge him in the primary, then...
But he wouldn't.
So it's like, shut up.
Right.
Just go with your stupid little birthday party. And so, you get that, and then you get, you find out that, like I said before, he's not a Trump guy anymore. He said, I'm taking off the red hat. And, it was like...
I'm putting on a birthday hat.
It's like, I didn't like that he was hiding in the bunker and all this stuff. And it's like, it reads like a dude that there are so many thoughts that are bouncing around in his head that his conversations are not him saying things. They're like him just reaching into the ether and grabbing each thought and trying to hang on for dear life.
For me, that sounds like a lot of times when we started this podcast, and would try to formulate some kind of mature thought on something important, but we would just grasp at like any random. We wouldn't give it enough thought ahead of time, and we would just kind of like word vomit our idea. Without really thinking it through and just being like, this is a concept, let's roll with that. And then you listen to it and you go, oh, wait a minute, this has some holes in it. And I think, not having read it, but from your description, it sounds like that's exactly what it is. It's just he's kind of just thinking off the cuff and just freestyling a political party out of it.
He's literally freestyling in the middle of the interview. He just starts freestyling, and he's like, "Yo, if there's a vibe, I have to catch that vibe. It's just I have to do it." It's like, but you don't though. You know, you can have a conversation with the person who's interviewing.
Could you please not, sir? This is not Hamilton, sir.
He literally, and I guess Forbes released them because they're audio. I guess they're like audio clips that he recorded. And so...
well, they were probably recording the interview.
I was about to say, that's probably... So they released the freestyles. I actually haven't listened to the freestyles yet, but one of them, he actually disses Donald Trump about going into the bunker. I don't know why he's so hung up on the bunker. I don't know.
I was going to say, that's the thing. That's really the thing that stuck out to him as like, oh, maybe he's not such a good president after all.
Yeah, apparently that was the thing that he's just so hung up on it. Dude, he references it like 3 times. So, so he's taken off the red hat apparently. But that still doesn't stop him from... I mean, the reason he put the red hat on in the first place was, black people aren't a monolith, and we don't all have to be part of the Democratic Party. And
I saw his entire thing about Biden.
And he's like, Obama's special. Trump is special. Kanye's special. Biden's not special. That's like, hey, man, okay.
All right.
Is that why you vote for him? Because you see an aura around him. Oh, by the way, he hasn't participated in politics his entire life. He wasn't even registered to vote until this coming election. But he's going to be the president.
Sure. Totally. That'll
Never
work.
voted. He's, 38? Never voted. But he's going to be the president of the United States.
Solid. Okay.
So.
Okay, Jim.
It really mostly was the obvious religious stuff that you're just like. Even if I was a full-on Kanye stan like I was back in the day, that stuff would make me go, well, I can't vote for you. I can't, in good faith, vote for somebody. In good faith. Look, I can't vote for somebody whose basis on their politics is your narrow view of morals and ethics that's based on your religion. I don't care what religion it is. I can't vote for that person. It doesn't sit right with me that you're not thinking about the betterment of society. You're thinking about how best can I view society through this narrow lens of my religion.
I've never really understood that obsession and the I guess focus on Christianity from politicians, specifically conservative politicians, when we clearly have a separation between church and state. I understand if that, in a really hollow, insincere way, gets you more votes, but at the same time, I would be much more comfortable if somebody said, "These are my views. This is my religion." You don't have to even say that though, because this is America. You don't have to you don't have to share more than you're willing to. But if they are willing to say, these are my beliefs, this is my faith, this is what I believe or don't believe, but it's not going to affect my policy. My policy is based on what's right for this country.
Yeah.
You know, it should not be swayed by the Bible or the Quran or the Torah, anything else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that to play a part in my politics. I just don't. I want you to think logically. I want you to think in facts. I want you to think in this vacuum that's without religion. And maybe that's me thinking, you know, like, too objectively, but I would much prefer that to somebody saying, like, oh, well, you know, I'm a Bible thumper, and, you know, I so believe in going to church every Sunday, and this is what I really want to, this is what's going to dictate my policy.
Yeah. And people who are like, you know, does Obama go to church every Sunday? Does Trump go to church every Sunday? I don't want them to go to church every Sunday. I want them in the Oval Office on Sunday.
Right.
I want them figuring out how to fix this country on Sundays. I don't give a fuck if they're reading the book that I want them to read. And people always go back to that thing where they're like, this country was built on Christian values. Well, first of all, this country was built on stolen land and murdering and raping and pillaging. But we're not going to go into that.
We don't want to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that.
No. So
I don't give a fuck. The idea that because one nation under God, which, by the way, that didn't happen until way, way later. But again, not the conversation that we're going to have today.
Right.
One nation under God, now that means that everything has to be under, every rule that's enacted and every law that's enacted has to be one nation under the God that we've decided.
Yeah, the Christian God.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's just such a wacky fuck. Like, people who are hard up on the Constitution, they're like, look, man, it's been this way for hundreds of years. It's worked, and why should we change it? And it's like, I mean,
because things can get better.
Well, exactly. It's like, dude, does it not make your brain explode thinking about what Thomas Jefferson would do if he took a time machine and was transported to today and saw the kind of technology, saw the way that society has evolved? Like, do you really think that they would have written the same document in 2020 or 2015 or 1990 or 1985 or 1975?
Yeah.
You think they would have written the same document? Fuck no. Why do we have to be stuck on that same fucking thing?
Because we're stuck on the Bible, Marco, and that's 2,000 years old. Yeah.
Yeah. And all that is to say, I would never vote for Kanye West.
No.
If a gun was pointed to my head, I'd just pull it.
Now, I will say, obviously Kanye's not going to win, even if he goes through with all the paperwork and everything else. If he's on the ballot, he's still not going to win. There's no way. There's no way.
Right.
But I will say, Trump did prove something in that, really, kind of anyone can run and win. It just needs to be the perfect storm for it to happen, but it can happen. So I don't want to take anything away from that, from the seriousness of a celebrity or a rapper or anyone else putting himself in the running or herself in the running.
Right.
Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
No, that's what Trump proved. It's possible. It is possible. So, you know, I don't want to just like kind of push aside anybody at this point. But I think it's pretty clear Kanye started at very least too late, let alone is this controversial figure. He's not going to win.
He's just not taking it seriously enough. That's really the bottom line. It's like you can fall in line with his beliefs if you want to, but he's not taking it seriously enough.
No.
That's just really
nor should we at this point.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good point that you make. We're at a point now where literally anybody who is, as long as they fit the narrow criteria of, I think you have to be 36.
Born here.
Born here. And you have to be a citizen of a state for like 10 years or something like that. 5 or 10 years. I don't remember.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, you have to hold citizenship. Even if you were born here, you could have gone over and been.
Oh, that's true.
Hey,
that's true. So just lived here for 10 years.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's all you need. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah.
Which is insane, dude.
And a lot of money.
Insane.
A lot of money.
How is it not? Like, you can't just roll out of bed and become a Supreme Court justice. Right? So why can any human being in the United States who's old enough can be the leader of the free world?
That's kind of the magic of it. It's supposed to be a representative of all of us. So, I think back in the day, they wrote it so that we all got a shot. So, for better or worse.
We all don't deserve a shot.
No.
We all don't deserve a shot. I don't deserve a shot.
Yeah, you sound like the monarchy, Marco. Is that what you want? Just a blessed family?
No. What I want is qualified human beings. That's what I want.
That's too much to ask for. I'm sorry.
I know.
That's not America.
I know. Well, anyway, let's talk about something cheerful. The Last of Us.
Oh.
Episode 270, the bummer episode.
This episode hurts.
Yeah.
All right. I'm switching to another beer.
Well, I mean, we could talk about something nice.
There's nothing nice.
What?
There's nothing nice.
Something good has to have happened recently.
No.
Right?
Nothing. No, nothing.
I saw a video of a dog.
Okay.
Send
it there. That's good enough.
Christ. Turn up the volume on this thing. The dog, the guy, the master is doing sleight of hand.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah. Well, English bulldog got tricked.
Yeah. And he looks at his hand. And he looks directly into camera. Breaks the head.
Yeah. And then looks back.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
That was good.
That's nice.
All right, we teased it. Let's talk about Last of Us. Come on, let's do it.
Okay, fine. Okay. So, if you're a person who's been paying attention to video games, PlayStation, Sony, society, you've heard of this game, The Last of Us, right? The first one, critically acclaimed, considered by many to be one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah.
We both played it, loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you rank it? Give it a rough ranking. Where would you rank it?
Oh, it's near the top. That's a fantastic game. I would, I mean, I'd have to say, I'd have to look at a list to fully rank it, but I'd probably say it's definitely in the top 5 of the past 10 years.
Yeah, definitely top 5 of the past 10 years. Of all time?
All time? Top 10?
I would probably put it top 10.
Yeah.
I would have to have created a list, checked it twice, find out which games are naughty or nice.
Of course.
But I think it'd probably crack the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I recently replayed it, as we said on the show, and it holds up.
It's a crowning achievement in storytelling, gameplay. I mean, everything that you could want. I say the only flaw in The Last of Us is its replayability.
Mm-hmm.
I think you play it again to refamiliarize with the story and the universe, and you kind of you draw that feeling back in. You really take it. But I mean, how many times can you fucking play that game?
Not a lot. The first game though had multiplayer that was actually really good.
That's true. That definitely ups the replayability. But that main story, dude, I couldn't play that. There's no way I don't want to put myself through that again.
There were times when I was replaying that I was like, I don't want to do this again. I really don't want to do this again.
Right.
I have to push through it. But yeah, I mean, it's a bleak masterpiece. That's what I'd call it.
The best way to describe it.
Yeah. So the sequel came out recently.
Right.
Pretty much got rave reviews as far as the
critics,
professional. Yeah, the professional critics out there loved it, but it was review bombed since it dropped, essentially, maybe even before that.
Here's the thing. I hate to say this, but I think Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, these aggregate review sites, need to rethink the user part of the review section.
Yeah. Oh, I think didn't Rotten Tomatoes revisit it after what was it? The Captain Marvel movie.
I was about to say, pick a movie involving a woman.
Right. Well, that's what people were saying about Last of Us too.
Yeah, that's of course the reason.
Oh, this stars a woman who you don't want to bone.
Or no, not that you don't want to, but that you can't.
You can't bone. Who doesn't want your bone?
That's what drives these fucking incels crazy. And
That's
true.
I'm
going after the incels again.
Here we go.
Bring it on, you nasty bastards. So yeah,
you unsullied.
The unsullied. So yeah, on Metacritic, it just got dumped on.
Yeah.
The I think it's like one of the highest disparities between professional reviews and the user ranking.
But I did see, as of today, the director of it, Neil Druckmann, ended up tweeting about. Apparently, it's gotten the most positive reviews out of any of the past Uncharted games. So that's a positive record, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. These fucking, I don't know, man. It makes me really, it really bothers the shit out of me. You can call me a white knight or a simp. I don't give a fuck. This shit pisses me off, man. Because
gamers suck.
When we talked about the Captain Marvel stuff, when the movie came out and it got review bombed, and
even before the movie came out.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about The Last of Us. It was getting those bad reviews within hours of the game being out, which was impossible because the game's too long for you to have given it a bad review.
It was based on leaks, which weren't a complete story.
Yeah. So people watched the leak, and then immediately when they were allowed to review it, went straight to Metacritic or wherever.
Yeah, and dunked on it.
Dunking on it, yeah. And but to go back to Captain Marvel for a second, because I watched it the other day.
Had you never seen it?
I'd never seen it.
Really?
Yeah, because I missed it when it was in theaters.
Yeah, I saw it in theaters.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I know.
Have I told you?
Not bitter about it.
Okay.
But
sorry.
I didn't have anybody to go with, and so I just never went. And so I finally watched it because I have Disney Plus now.
Right.
Because, I'm just sitting around doing nothing else, so I might as well.
Might as well.
Yeah. And, by the way, the content on Disney
Plus is crazy. Fantastic.
It's crazy. It's
fantastic.
Dude. I was watching the original Spider-Man TV show, the Fox Kids TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I wanted to tell you this pun.
That show is full of them.
Dude, he said this one that he goes in the very first episode. What I like about the Spider-Man TV show, it's the same thing that I like about the original Batman TV show, which is there's no origin story. You're in the middle of their career as a superhero, which I like because they're like, we're not going to waste your time with Uncle Ben and all that bullshit. Like, he's Spider-Man. These are the adventures of Spider-Man, not the story and how he became and yada yada, right? Well, you get that. It's sprinkled as the show goes on.
Yeah.
So the first episode is about the Lizard and Dr. Connors and how he becomes the Lizard or whatever. And at first, for some reason, Spider-Man, Peter Parker is he's what is the word? I've been drinking too much now. He doesn't. He's reluctant to believe in it at first.
Okay.
He's doubtful or whatever. I know there's a better word for that, but he doesn't believe that the lizard exists. And it's like, you're Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
How do you not believe this? Everybody else is like, I've seen it. And he's like, bullshit. So then he finally sees the lizard, and he goes, oh my God, the lizard's not a myth. It looks like I made a mistake.
Oh,
a mistake, Adam.
Oh.
When he said that, I had to pause it just to make sure I heard what I heard.
To cough all the corona out of your chest. That's what did it. A mistake.
Oh, dude. I can't believe that they wrote that. He recorded it. He had to record it multiple times to get the right take. And not one point, no one was like, let's scratch.
We shouldn't use that. That's a stinker there.
That's a stinker. So, okay. So, I finally watched Captain Marvel. It's a good movie. It's not great.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. It's up there with the other origin hero Marvel movies.
Exactly. It's as good as the first Captain America movie. It's as good. I'd say it's better than Thor 1 and 2. It's more enjoyable than both of those movies. It's not at the bottom. You could rank it ranks somewhere in the middle. I think it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's fine. It's really fine.
Well, I just couldn't believe. I talked to somebody else about it, and they were like, it's not the movie. People are mad at Brie Larson.
Correct.
For interviews.
Yep. That's what did it.
And that's just fucking... I mean, these fans, man, they're making everything worse.
Yeah.
Fans are just making everything worse. They're making artists not want to do things. They're making actors not want to act.
They're making you not be able to be a fan of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, you can't even be fans of things that like you want to be. Oh, dude, they drove that girl. Fuck, I forgot her name. I forgot the actress's name, but she plays the girl in The Last Jedi, the Asian chick.
Yes. Yep.
Movie. Dude, they drove her off social media.
Yeah, because people suck.
Just, I mean, I don't know, dude. Okay, so that brings us to The Last of Us 2. Gets review bombed. Although, we don't have to wonder about how good the game is. You got it. You played it. You beat it. Adam, what do you think?
It sucks! I'm just kidding.
Why though? Is it because of that chick who played the one chick, and you're just like, fuck that chick. Fuck her.
Yeah. I hope she dies. No, not at all. Last of Us 2 is, I would call... Yet another modern masterpiece from Naughty Dog. I know you recently beat Uncharted 4, right?
Oh, it's so good, man. It's so good, dude.
To me, Naughty Dog just doesn't miss.
Never misses.
They keep evolving. They get better every single time.
They don't miss.
But I feel like this is really like... Okay, what you said before about Last of Us 1, that it has like zero replayability because you just don't want to go through that again, right?
Yeah.
That times 1,000. I never want to play this game again. I don't. I just don't. I really don't. Parts of it were literally painful for me to get through.
Yeah.
But it just, it's the culmination of everything that Naughty Dog has done as far as storytelling, as far as the graphics, gameplay. It plays better than, I'd say, any Uncharted, way better than the original Last of Us. That was one of the big things that people had an issue with the first Last of Us, was with the gameplay. I thought it was okay, but people said it was, I don't know, just like not quite right. But this one, like, it plays like a dream. You're fully immersed in the story.
I kind of had a problem with that with Uncharted 4. The gameplay is kind of janky. I mean, as much as I loved being in that universe, there's moments where I'm just like, I'd fall off a cliff or I'd have to jump off a thing or jump up a thing, and it's like, like it's just like make it smooth. Why do I?
Yeah.
Like,
well, a lot of people had issue with how Naughty Dog. I was gonna say Rockstar for some reason. Naughty Dog did their shooting.
Yeah, the shooting sucks.
Exactly. This one, I think, improves a lot on it. It feels less like kind of like floaty.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I'm trying not to be hyperbolic about it, but like I just as far as somebody who likes to be punished in a story, this did it for me. Like I really like I don't.
You're a sick fuck.
I am. And this completely did it for me. The storyline alone is enough for me to like call this so far game of the year for sure. For me,
Ghost of Tsushima is still coming out.
it is, and I do plan on getting that, but I just don't see it being better in the way that The Last of Us is. Okay, that's enough. I don't see it being better in a sort of class that Last of Us is in a storytelling way. Ghost of Tsushima may be a better gameplay game. Maybe it might have better mechanics and like RPG mechanics and stuff like that. But I just being a fan and really trying to pay attention to everything that happened in the first Last of Us game and moving on to this one, it really did what everything it was setting out to do for me, and that's kind of the highest praise I can give it. And I can give anything really.
It feels like obviously I haven't played it, but from what I've read and the way that you're talking, it's like Godfather 1 and 2.
Yeah, and the creators had a really solid point in saying that they called it Last of Us Part 2, not 2, because it's a continuation of the story.
Yeah,
and it really is. And I was really glad that I finished the first one so recently from starting to play the second one, because I feel like they work together perfectly.
Yeah,
like they are meant to be played that way, and they stick together in a really cohesive, like it feels like you've read an entire novel by the end of it, and you get where everyone's at. You understand the decisions that were made, and everyone who's saying that the decisions made in it were illogical or betrayed characters, I completely disagree. I think if you're paying attention, it is fully within the realm of reality they make in that game. And I'm obviously being vague because I don't want to spoil anything.
Can you explain in a way that doesn't spoil the game why everyone's mad at the voice actress who plays, I think the character's name is Abby? Yeah.
There's a new character in it.
Can you explain it that doesn't give anything away as to why people are mad at her? Or does it
I can try.
Away?
I can try. There's not really a good way of doing it. There's really not a good way of explaining that without it getting into deep spoilers. But
okay, so I guess that in and of itself is an explanation. People are mad at her because of the decisions made by the game director and the people who wrote the game and made the game.
And the addition of this character, when we wanted to focus on I mean by like the collective wanted to focus on the characters from the original story.
Right, and you have to play as Abby for a good majority of the game, or just part of it, or is it?
I'm not going to get into those details because I feel like that's a spoiler.
Okay.
But just suffice it to say, she is a focus of some of the game. So I feel like a lot of people felt betrayed in a way that I guess the focus wasn't solely on Joel. It's very strange because it seems like a lot of people read the character of Joel completely differently than I did when I played the first Last of Us. And there's a lot of character decisions and a lot of character moments that people have issue with.
They say that
because
Joel wouldn't have done that. Ellie
correct.
Wouldn't have done that.
Yeah. But I don't agree. I don't agree, and I'm interested to see why people feel that way. And I've seen some arguments, but I completely disagree with those arguments as far as why characters did certain things. I know I'm being super vague. This is probably terrible for people who haven't actually played the game yet, but specifically when the game director and the voice actors are telling you, we thought about this is why we did it, for these reasons, I think you have to respect that, don't you?
I think that they shouldn't have even said anything as far as the story is concerned. I don't think that they owe people an explanation about the story that they told.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a fan, if you feel betrayed by a decision that a writer made, you just have to eat that. You just have to grin and bear it. Yeah. That's how I feel. I feel if I'm the writer of this story and I decided that a character is going to make this decision, and then the fans are like, he wouldn't have done that. It's like, motherfucker, I created the character.
Right.
I decide what he does and doesn't do. I decide that. I created his thought process, everything, and all of that comes from me. How are you going to tell me, the person who wrote this? I understand that art, once you put it out into the world, it takes on a life of its own. Yeah,
it belongs to those people who experience it after a while.
And I completely understand that. As people who make art, I 100% understand that.
Yeah.
What I will never, ever be on board with is an artist ever have to explain their art.
Mm-hmm.
And as a writer, the story, if it's done poorly, even then it's like, well, you just fucked up. And the fans don't like it, and the fan reaction will tell you that. But explaining the decisions made by the individual characters, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I went into it expecting something along the lines of like Last Jedi, where people are talking about Luke and this being a complete departure from who we knew as this character.
That's different, because that was a person taking on the mantle of this character.
Right.
And deciding, I think that he would do this. Now, George Lucas decided that Luke was going to make those decisions. You don't get to tell him that that's wrong.
Right.
Rian Johnson stepping in and saying, you know what? I think this is what he would have done. I think that's different. If I wrote a story and then you took it on in the next chapter and was like, I think that this is what Marco's character would have done, then I think there's a little bit of like, well, who the fuck are you? Why would you make that decision?
You didn't interpret this right.
Yeah, that's different. Because that's almost like a fan taking over the story.
Yeah, almost like a fanfic, you know?
Yeah. So with that, I think that's a little different than with this. This is all, as far as I know, everybody who worked on the original story, right?
Yeah, I think that they changed one of the co-writers in it, but for me, I mean, some people say they can tell the difference. For me, it seemed completely within the same world, within the same voice that we've been talking in this entire time. But you know, I bring up Last Jedi because I was going to say I expected that kind of like shock and like almost disappointment of like, I didn't expect this character to be this way. But that never happened to me throughout the game. I felt like it was, things went exactly as they should have. And they weren't always good. They often put me in uncomfortable places. They made me make judgment calls about people and characters and kind of reevaluate my view on this narrative, but that was all to service the story. And I came away from it thinking it's one of the best games of the generation, for sure.
Yeah.
What they do on the PS4, I mean, I felt like I was playing a PS5 game sometimes, just based on the visuals. And I'm not even playing on a PS4 Pro. Yeah. This is a you know, literally like release day PS4. And it sounds like a jet engine, sure, but it made it through. And I mean, the visuals alone, it's stunning. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful game, as brutal and terrible as it is. I I saw a lot of people saying it was overly long, like there's too much game. I felt that way at a certain point, but then I kind of understood why it dragged that far and that long.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, I turned around on that because for a while there I was like, yeah, this could have been cut down by like 10 hours.
Yeah.
But I feel like the time that they add on to it was worth it. And yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's 10 out of 10. I think it's great.
Wow.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, I'm going to borrow it from you.
Yes, you will.
And then I'll give my review, and then we can do a spoiler. We can do a spoiler cast.
Yes, we'll do a spoiler cast. One more thing before we get out of here. I mean, obviously, I think that the nincompoops who are like attacking the voice actors for doing their job and giving them like death threats because of characters that they play is like, are you some kind of idiot?
Yeah, it's like I cannot believe that there are grown men who would do that. That really, honestly and truly blows my mind. It melts my brain that there are grown men who would find the voice actress and send her death threats because of the decisions that the character made.
Right. That she didn't even write.
I when I heard about that, I thought it was an Onion article. I couldn't believe. And then I
wish.
Dude, I had to double check that it was her real Twitter account. Then I saw that Druckmann,
yeah.
that he responded. He's the director at Naughty Dog. Well, he directed Uncharted and he directed.
Yep.
And he responded and he said something, and I had to double check and make sure that he was the right guy. I was like, I refuse to believe that there are human beings that would attack the voice actress for the character that she betrayed. And I hate to do this, but how often do they do that to... They never in their lives would do that to a male actor.
No, of course not. Of course not.
They would never look up a male voice actor and shit on him. They would never in droves go after fucking Jake Gyllenhaal or fucking Adam Driver and tell him how much of a piece of shit he is.
Yeah, it's really depressing. I did see something interesting on one of the comments to Abby's voice actor on Twitter. One of the tweets, one of the death threats that she got, one of the guys actually admitted to sending it and took like a screenshot of him sending it and was like, I'm really sorry about this. I sent this right after I played the game, and it was really emotional for me, and I really connected with the characters, and I'm sorry that I got so upset, but it's just because this game affected me so much. And everybody just immediately got ratioed, and people are like, why would you say I want you to die?
Yeah. No,
if
you need mental help. You need to see a therapist. You need help. You need to be on some kind of medication. You need help.
Yeah.
I don't care how remorseful you are. You need help.
Yeah.
It's not sane.
No, because it took work to find her on Twitter and type that up and go, I hope you die. I hope you get cancer and die or whatever. Like, okay.
No, you need help. You need medical assistance in your life.
Yeah.
If you think that you can say some shit like that and then just turn around and be like, look, I'm
sorry. I'm sorry.
Upset about
That's not me.
How the story went. It's not me. I swear I would never in a million years. Huh, dude? Huh?
Yeah.
So everything's forgiven because you apologized after you found the voice actress for a video game and you sent her death threats because of the choices that the writer and director made. And obviously the point was made, but I'll make it again. No one sent death threats to the writers of the video game. People didn't.
Well, they got some.
But,
They got some.
But if you're gonna send death threats, you shouldn't send them. But if you're gonna, if you're an insane person and you're gonna, then send it to the writers. They made these choices. Send it to Naughty Dog as a company. Why would you go after the voice actress?
Right.
I don't know.
There's no sense in even trying to break it down anymore. It's fine.
No.
It's fine. It is what it is. These people are idiots. They're psychopaths. Whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. These people are idiots and they're psychopaths. So.
Amen.
Yeah. So this was grade A content. I hope that the fan doesn't bother people. If it does, I apologize, but there's no way I would have been able to make it this long.
Yeah, I mean, I hope my headphones work the entire time.
Yeah. Hopefully, we get all our results back and we're good to go, and we'll be back sucking each other's faces next week, and everything.
I sure hope so.
All good. And yeah. So, but you know, it hasn't been all bad. Some good that's come of this is, you know, we're getting back on YouTube. We're getting content on the page again, so that's good, and we're going to continue to do that. We're going to really be on the ball with that one, so you guys look forward to that, because we're really going to ramp up on that. So, anything else that we want to get across?
Just what's the best of the pack here?
The best of the pack.
The best of the pack.
The best of the pack.
Best of the pack.
Well, best of the pack. Well, okay. This was already. I mean, we've already kind of talked about.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
The space dust.
I'm gonna give this a 4.5.
The Super Fuzz.
Yes, this
Okay.
Elysian Super Fuzz Blood Orange Pale Ale. It's actually really good. First drink, I was like, that blood orange comes through, and it comes through in a way that's not overpowering, and it's not subtle to the point where you can barely taste it. This is really good. Elysian is so far with their beers. I mean, we've featured all of their big namesake beers, and I mean, low key. I mean, they just make really good stuff.
Yeah.
All of their beers are really good.
For a non-local big craft brew, I feel like they're among the top.
Yeah. So 4.5 for this. Mixing them together didn't really do too much for me. I mean, it didn't taste bad. It wasn't like a fucking wasn't like when you take a cup and fill up from all the fucking
A suicide?
The suicide. I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like that. So, but you're not missing anything if you can't mix them. In fact, I would suggest not to mix them and enjoy them as they should be enjoyed, because they're better.
Okay, that's respectable.
Yeah.
All right. So my review for the Cryosphere, Terrapin Cryosphere here. It's really good. It's actually it's in running for best of the pack. Very, very smooth IPA.
The Terrapin? I'm sorry, not the Terrapin, the Hopsecutioner.
It's up there. It's up there. We'll get to that. But this one, I have to go along the same lines as you said. It's about a 4.5 for me. I would have it again. I prefer my IPAs less malty. I know they like to kind of mix in some fruity flavors sometimes to give it some malt.
Yeah.
Some beefiness. And even the Hopsecutioner has a bit of malt to it too, to balance out all those hops. But this is very almost refreshing in a way. I think that's what they're going for with the cryo part of it. It looking all icy and cool.
Yeah.
It's very smooth, which I enjoy a lot. So yeah, 4.5. If you find it, I'd say pick it up.
All right.
Now for best of the pack, I will say the Hopsecutioner still wins. It's a standard. It's a go-to for a reason. I do prefer that traditional IPA taste. In comparison to the Cryosphere, it's a bit beefy. It's a bit kind of thick. less smooth. And of course, the luau is another front runner too. The recreation ale, not for me. Low-cal ale. I prefer my IPAs with flavor.
Yeah.
Sorry. But yeah, no, I'd say, yeah, the Hopscutioner still the winner, but a close second, I would say, actually, is the Cryosphere and then the luau for its fruity flavors and mix of that sort. It's nice.
All right.
Yeah.
Right on. Can't beat that. Can't beat that with a stick. And you can't beat that with a bat. So I think we got it, right?
I think so. What's your best of your pack?
The Space Dust is still the best.
Okay.
The Space Dust is just a solid. Honestly, you know what? Ugh.
Uh-oh. Upset.
Fuck, dude. I mean, I've just had the Space Dust so much.
Yeah.
The Super Fuzz, the first drink of it, I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm going to stick with the Space Dust.
Okay.
But a close second is the Super Fuzz. A close second.
Okay.
On a good day, the Super Fuzz might take it.
I kind of feel the same way about the Cryosphere.
Yeah. I mean, and that's just credit to those breweries that they're making such high quality stuff that it's kind of hard to pick a number one.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
Yeah. All right.
Think
we got it?
I think we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, then that means this has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you guys for listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, we'll have some more content up on the YouTube very soon, so you can literally like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have a beautiful evening.
We love you.
We do.